The year 1967. This year, the Soviet state celebrated 50 years of more or less its existence. Say, in the 50 years anniversary of the so-called October Socialist Revolution. And in order to commemorate this date, they organized two big international tournaments, one in Moscow, one in Leningrad. And, there were even rumors that Bobby Fischer was eager to take part in one of these tournaments, even without any extra fee, just to play. And there were rumors, and the Soviet authorities were thinking over and decided not to allow him to come to the Soviet Union. What the hell would happen if the American citizen would win the tournament commemorated to the 50 years of the Soviet state? No, so the tournaments had been played. The stronger tournament in Moscow was won by Leonid Stein, and the weaker tournament in Leningrad was won by me in a fight with Grandmaster Holmov, who finally was the second at the tournament. So I won several interesting games, and I'm going to show you one of those. A time ago, the then world champion Mikhail Botvinnik said that a young player have to arrange his opening repertoire the way that he would never play against himself. What does it mean? It means that if I play the Grunfeld with black against d4 and French defense against e4, I should not play against the French myself. Well, somehow to adjust it, to know and to avoid if I would meet openings which I play myself. I got tired already to play closed openings, and finally, so I decided to take the challenge. The guy wanted to play the French against me, I take it. But if possible, I would avoid the most modern lines. That's what I had in mind. So the most solid and the modern line is after bishop d3, c5, c3, knight c6, knight ge2, queen b6, knight f3. That is the most solid line, and I prefer to avoid it. So instead, I play knight f3 here. So this knight will protect the pawn d4, and the other knight will hardly be able to protect. Now knight b3 is not possible because of c5, c4. So should I take on c5? No, that I would not like, especially being an expert of the French. So I sacrifice a pawn. In the full, as they say, in full awareness what I'm doing. You see, some time ago, I played blitz games with Efim Geller, and it was his idea to sacrifice a pawn. Well, he used it often, and here he played some move with the queen in order to put the queen onto the king side. To get a good initiative along the black against the black king. So that is what happened. By the way, here there were games where the people played queen c5, and after queen a4, queen b4 back, and if bishop takes h7, so they would change queens, and the position would be about equal. That's what happened in some already played games. Instead, in the blitz games, Geller played queen after queen c5. Geller played queen e2 against me, and then he used a tempo, later occupying the c file. So he had always a very strong initiative. In the game, the man played h6. According to the theoretical knowledge, g6 is stronger. h6, bishop d2, queen b6. Just a moment. So, certainly castling is possible, but then queen g4, threatening with bishop takes h6, and with very strong initiative. And after f5, queen g6 would be played. So instead, my partner, a grandmaster from Yugoslavia, he preferred to play king f8, especially because bishop b5, and bishop a5 both moves already threatened. So, by the way, this game appeared in the book, which was published several years later in the country which is called now Estonia, but time ago it was Estonian Socialist Republic. And the book was published by Grandmasters Keres and Ney, and the book was just called 4 times 25. The book was published in the year 1973, when the only hero who was rising and who was supported by the whole might of the Soviet state was Anatoly Karpov. But the book published 25 games of each grandmaster, of Grandmaster Fischer, Larsen, Spassky, and me. And this was a clear political protest against the Soviet, against attempts of the Soviet state to raise Anatoly Karpov as the only hero. Okay, the book was published, and here, by the way, they suggest immediate, they suggest immediate queen g4, and then h4 and h5, in order to not to allow black free to play g6 and king g7. Well, but I have something else in mind. So I play a little bit different way. So I played instead of h4, what again was strongly suggested by Keres and Ney. Instead of that, I played something else. I played bishop a5. And the idea was to play then knight d4 and knight b5, just to blockade the queen side of black, and well, finally, gradually to prepare the assault on the king side. Yeah, that was my idea. So this happened. This is very good move. Otherwise, after knight d4, even rook c8 would be difficult to play. Bishop b4. Well, the question. Black has difficulties to develop himself, and let's say if he takes now on b4, then queen takes b4, and then if queen e7, then simply queen takes b6. Taking on b6, then rook takes c8, well, winning the queen, and white has a one position. Just one of the variations showing that black has serious difficulties. Yeah, so he played g6, and now I played well, a tricky but strong move. And black is now, how the English people say, bound arm and foot. He cannot move, and the first threat is bishop takes g6, pawn takes g6, queen f6 check. This is the main threat, but there are many others. So he played g5. And this is, well, more or less the best way to somehow to free black's position. g5. No, it's a pawn sacrifice. He gives the pawn back. He cannot take on b4, by the way, because of knight e6 check, winning the queen, the black queen. So he played king e8. Now check. And now, nice move. The next move is very nice. Look, he cannot take on d6 with the bishop because the king is hanging. He cannot take on b5 with the bishop because queen is hanging. Knight takes d8. He cannot take. He cannot. No, just a moment. After bishop takes b5, something else is happening. Yeah, I had forgotten that the queen h4 is hanging. After bishop takes b5, the following thing happens: knight g7 check, king f8, knight takes f5. No, simply knight f5. So now he cannot take on b4, he cannot take that, he cannot even protect the bishop, because after knight c8, rook takes c8 is winning. Well, let's continue. Queen takes c8, bishop takes c7. Well, if king g8, queen g4 is mating, and if king e8 after bishop takes e7, Then knight d6. So everything is clear. So knight d6 of course wins the game. Well, he must take on d6. Now check. Now rook c3, threatening mate in 2, rook f3 and queen f7 mate. And now, well, the best perhaps is queen e8 here. So we continue. This is a line. King g7. Now I think rook f6, threatening mate in 1, queen g6. Then rook h7. Then bishop d3. Rook takes e6, winning. Yeah. Yeah, so in the game he played rook h7, queen g6, threatening again mate in 1. Now it is threatening mate in several moves. Well, the queen h8 is threatening, rook g3 is threatening. In the game he played bishop takes b4, rook g3, and he cannot protect the rook because of queen h8 check. So queen h8 check and mate the next move. Yeah. So in this position, black resigned.